Good night, everyone. Evening, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're at. Welcome to KingPittdawg Racing. I am Kevin, and I am your host and driver here on this channel where we bring you everything we can live. Almost everything from the world of sim racing on PlayStation 5 and virtual reality here on Gran Turismo. And I just want to verify real quick before I get too in-depth here that this is actually working, because I had over an hour of streaming that didn't actually happen. So I'm going to actually reset my app here and just make sure that this is coming up. Looks like it is working, so let me just jump into the details here. So the car you see on the screen here is the Silvia Spec-R Aero Group 4 race car, and this is our headlining vehicle for the headline event of this weekend. This weekend is known as, or being called, I've named it, the HECS, or the Holiday Exhibition Challenge Series, Summer Series Championship Weekend of Speed at Daytona. We're going to be running 3 different divisions. This again is the main car, and I'm going to jump into building this car in just a minute. But first, let's go over the specs for the whole weekend, and we're going to get out of this screen because the music's a little loud, and I want to make sure everybody can hear me here. So what we were doing is lobby racing here, invitation only racing series, and this video is going to go over all the specs. I'm going to show the specs for each room for the races and go over everything real quick, and then we'll go into building cars for those who are looking to join us. So we average about 10 to 12 guys per race, so it's a fun group, and we have a good time doing this. So this is the second annual KingPittdawg Racing race here at Daytona. This one's going to be 500K, and we're kind of tweaking formats here as we learn and find new ways to make these races interesting. So I am going to give you the 500K specs on the screen. Alright, so let me go break everything down for you. Again, this is the Holiday Exhibition Challenge Series Summer Series Event 5. This is also known as Season 2 Event 10, since we had the Spring Series and now we're in the Summer Series. This is the championship weekend for not only the regular season, but also the Summer Series. 5 races in the Spring Series, or 5 events in the Spring Series, 5 events in the Summer Series, and we'll be going into a 5-event Fall Championship Series. Okay, that's what this race will determine. We got 8 people already eligible, and I'll touch on that in just a moment. But this weekend is a 3-day holiday weekend event here in the USA over Labor Day weekend. We're going to be going tomorrow night, which is, it's almost tomorrow night, or it's almost tomorrow, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Those who follow the HECS will understand that I do points on 3 different levels. You have bonus points, event points, and race points, and I'll touch on that a little bit more as we keep going. This event for all 3 divisions is going to be 2 times tires and fuel. There are going to be spec settings on all these cars for each division. Medium tires is the official tire of the HECS, so that will be the only tire allowed this weekend. We're going to set the rooms to 5 times variable rate for all the days with custom weather, which I will change just a little bit between races. All the races are going to end up in the night. I think I'm going to start the Friday night race a little earlier than the Saturday night race. And then because of the length of this particular main event race, the 500K, that one will probably start in the afternoon and work our way into the night. because the transition in the weather at Daytona is really super cool. So, so we're going to have segment racing, which is very similar to stage racing, only a little bit different because we tried the stages last year in the original race, and we have some technical difficulties, had to restart. So the segments are going to be new rooms, and basically just like a race set to a certain number of laps, and then we will break and start a new room. So we're not going to run straight through. We're going to stop, and then so we're looking at 2 segments on Saturday night's race and 3 segments on the Sunday race. We will have cautions at this race, which is very unique to this track. We usually don't do cautions, but we're going to do cautions here. And then there will be 2 start zones. Not only the Geico official restart zone on the front stretch, but we're also going to use the penalty marker on the back stretches so we can have half-lap cautions. And then we will also have double file, but we're not doing the choose rule like we did. We're going to do just double file starts and restarts. So the leader would be on the inside and so forth, you know, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th if we got that many on the inside, and then of course 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 on the outside. So as far as points go, again, this is 10 times event points. The start bonus, because of the 10 times bonus points, if you start all 6 races, you will get 60 points just right off the bat. There's the standard top 5 start bonus we always use for starting, and that, again, not all of these races are determined by qualifying, so some of that may not be how fast you are, but where you end up with the draw, with the luck of the draw or the die roll. There will be a victory bonus. There's normal, like we always have, but there will be no fast lap bonus for this event because of the nature of the draft. During the segments, the top 10 segments spots will be paid a bonus from 10 down to 1. So it would be first place 10, second place 9, all the way down to 10th place, which would get 1 point. So the qualifying heat races are what we're calling the trial, which is the triple header qualifying races at Daytona Oval. The trial, you know, kind of a play on the duel a little bit. And these are qualifying heat races that are going to run tomorrow night after the truck race, and then Saturday night we'll run the last 2 after the KupKar race. So, one thing I want to stress, all divisions, we're only going to have spec settings, no individual gear ratio setups. We're going to set these at, we've already set the KRaPsMoN trucks at 230 for the gear ratio on both trucks, which should work out fine in the draft from what I could see what we were doing. There will be model-specific specifications for the Tundra and the F-150 Raptor, the Tundra TRD Pro. One thing I want to stress too is I will be able to tell if you're not running the right settings. So disqualification is definitely possible if it's determined that someone's breaking the rules, because I can watch your telemetry. So if you come in and race with us and cheat, I'll know it because I know what these cars run. So if you're going faster than that or different than that or whatever, we'll know. Again, these races aren't about driving skill as much as how well you know how to drive the draft. So we want the trucks and cars to be equal. So let's delve into the specifics for each race. Tomorrow night, again, it's we're knowing it is, or referring it to the KRaPsMoN trucks. And if you're not familiar with the KRaPsMoN trucks, it's the KingPittdawg Racing Performance Specially Modified Naturally Aspirated Trucks, KRaPsMoN Trukz. And this race, again, is going to be known as the FQ200K. It's going to be a 200K distance, 5 times race points. Again, the spec settings that we've set, the biggest thing we had was the gear ratios. Basically, taking all your sliders on the setup screens and taking them to the left, or minimum settings, and you're going to go back and change the roll bar to 5 and 5 front, 5 rear, and then your negative camber would be 0.5 front, 0.5 rear. And then the differential down at the bottom on the Trukz, it needs the torque vectoring differential needs to be set to 595, 5% front, 95 rear, and then the the differential setting should be 10, 20, 10 front and rear on both trucks. So that should make everything as even as possible. So the room will be set to 45 laps. We're going to have 1 pace lap, and then we're going to have 44 laps of racing. 1 segment on this particular race, no alternate segments for the trucks. And then don't forget, immediately after, we're going to have the qualifying heat race trial, race 1, and that'll be 3 times race points. And then Saturday night we'll finish up the 2 other trial races, and that will determine our grid for Sunday's race. So Saturday night, the 2nd, gonna plan on having the room open roughly 8:15 Central Daylight Time, and this will be with the KupKar RacecaR, KupKar RacecaR, RaceCar, capital R. Capital R front and rear there. And these are the HECS KupKar Spec Camaro, Crown, and Mustang. The closest thing I could do to having the NASCAR 3 cars, because we don't have a Camry we can make rear-wheel drive. But they do have the Crown in the game, and you can do the 3U ZSFE engine swap and make that a V8. It is already a rear-wheel drive vehicle. So that race will be known as the Instagram at KevinP_KPD 250. It's a 250K distance, 5 times race points again. And we're going to get these cars balanced out as best we can with separate specs for each model, but they will be model-specific specifications. And then we will set this one with the room to specific segment laps, and we haven't quite determined that yet. We're going to do a little bit more testing tomorrow night and figure out fuel economy, because I want the sprint segment to not require a pit stop. So again, this will be 1 pace lap for a total of probably end up being 65 laps, because I think it's 63 laps basically for the 250K. And then we're going to add 1 pace lap in the front and 1 pace lap in the rear, so we'll end up racing 65 laps total. Alright, and then the big dog, pun intended, is going to be Sunday at approximately 6:30 p.m. I'll probably open the room a little bit after 6. And we'll be running the Silvia Spec-R Aero Group 4 car. To our spec, there's a couple of things you can do, and I'll go over that in just a few minutes. And that particular race is going to be 124 laps of greenlit racing, so it'll be about 127 laps with the pace laps for each segment. So that's pretty much it. Again, this Silvia Spec-R Aero we have run in the TV stand series. TV stand, where'd that come from? I just kicked my foot on the TV stand and my brain went there. So anyway, to go back to what we were talking about, the Silvia Spec-R Aero, which was the same vehicle we used in the Fall Invitational Championship Series through PRG7 Motorsports, and we've also used them here in the HECS. Again, three segments at that race, and it'll be Silvia Spec. Again, pull all the sliders to the left, 5 and 5 on the roll bar, 0.5 on the camber. That's about all you need. So let me quickly go through here then and build these cars for you. The Silvia is the easiest one, and that's the car I'm currently in, the one I actually built on my video that didn't work. So you find this car at the Brand Central for Nissan if you're in the USA, Nissan most everywhere else. It's this car right here, the Silvia Spec-R Aero S15 touring car. That is the first thing you do, is buy that car. Unless you already have it, then you can modify it. And there's very little modifications that we need on this one. So we're going to go, first things first, we're going to go over here to the GT Auto. And you can you can go to the wheels. Do whatever you wheels. I always put the BBS-FS. These are the dark version. The wing for this event, we're going to have Type B, which is the more NASCAR style lip spoiler. And then there's just a couple other modifications here, so we'll go through those real quick. So this is a 2-liter already turbocharged engine. It has pretty much most everything you want to do to it done to it already. As you can see, most of this stuff is NA. I will have you get power restrictor and ballast. You wouldn't necessarily need it for this race, but you're going to need the fully customizable computer, LSD, the racing muffler, racing brake kit. Brake pads are already part of that. Brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension, and the fully customizable racing transmission. Those are really the only two things you really need to buy for this thing. It's pretty much spec'd out already. And that's the Silvia car, so we'll jump over to the garage and I will show you the settings of how we're going to have it. And this will be the spec, so record this, whatever you need to. Oop, I didn't buy the medium tires. Which is the one thing I failed to mention on this video, which I had mentioned in my last video. So, at the tuning shop, you got to make sure you get your medium tires, because racing medium tires are the ones that are required for the event. All 3 divisions are going to be running the same tire, no swapping allowed. I have all the other ones shut off for the first time of the series. So now we can go to our specs, and you can see the performance points are down a little bit from where they were, or up a little bit, I'm sorry. It's getting late and I'm tired. I've been up almost 24 hours more or less. So racing medium tires are the required tires. Now to take all of your sliders, we can do this live on this particular car. Leave your anti-roll bar at 5 and 5, but take all of these sliders and turn them left until they max left. We're going to turn our camber down to 0.5 and 0.5. And we're going to take all the drag we can out of the cars by taking these to 0 and 0. And then we're just going to run these at 10, 20, 10. And that'll be all 3 divisions. The limited slip will be run at the same amount. Take all of the aero off to 0. These can all stay the same. And then we're going to take our transmission and run it at, I think it was 300. We're going to start with 300. We're going to be testing that to see. We'll have to see where that was working so good. I think it was 280 or might have been 350, he said. I can't. We'll figure that one out. So that puts us under 640 for the total performance on the vehicle. No, I didn't have the. There we go. Yeah, so that one takes us up to just under 650. So that's where the room will be set, is at 650. It should keep everybody in check. So that's the Silvia Spec-R. So now I'm going to jump into the Cup cars. Again, this is Saturday night's races, and we got 3 cars eligible. We got the Crown Athlete G with the 3UZFE conversion, or engine swap. And you notice all 3 of these cars are wide bodies. That is the requirement. So let's take one of these. Let's take the Crown, the original. This is the first one I built. So we'll take this and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. First of all, you can pick up the Crown Athlete G and the Toyota section of the yeah, look at there, right there it is. So you're just going to come over here and buy this vehicle, whichever color you wish. Now you notice this vehicle is a 3.5 liter V6. So then once you get that done, if you have the engine already, it won't cost you anything. But if you want to run this car, you're going to need to come over, and the first thing you want to do is set the wide body install. Okay, and then you can do the engine swap. I think you could probably do both of those either way, either one first. But the wide body needs to be set before you do anything else. So set that up. And then the engine swap, you're going to be swapping over to the 3UZFS, 3UZ, I don't know the exact code on it. But once you're done there, you're going to go over to your cosmetic, and we are going to run 18-inch wheels on these cars. And it is going to be these wheels here, the BBS racing wheel, and that is going to be 18-inch wide. Okay, so 18-inch wide. And then the front, we're going to run the Type B spoiler that'll allow you to put downforce on it. The side skirts, the basically matching side skirts. The rear diffuser style rear bumper. And the wing is going to be the custom wing. Medium 22 is the only one allowed for all 3 cars. And then racing items, you can run the hood pin, tow hook, and then you definitely want to put a roll cage in it. As you can see, we've already got the roll cage in that vehicle. And then other parts, I always suggest, let's get rid of the license plate off the front. You can run whatever caliper you want, and I always suggest people to buy the best bulbs as you can. So that ends the cosmetic section. Now, because this was already an engine swap, you'll see it when we pull it up in the settings screen. There's not a lot you can purchase on this particular engine, so we actually set the series around the performance that we could get out of this particular engine when developing these 3 cars. So we'll go into the tuning shop and I'll show you what I mean here. We're going to have weight reduction stage 1, weight reduction stage 2, power restrictor and ballast, and we are running this car power restricted here at Daytona. Oh, I bumped out one too many there. Sorry, peeps. Yeah, okay, so we were over here. We finished up these 2, and now we're going to go to semi-racing and get the fully customizable computer, fully customizable LSD, weight reduction stage 3, and increased body rigidity. And if I'll note your attention right here, 3UZFE SC430. So this is a swap out of the SC430. And if you look again, we're going to go up to racing. There's really nothing we could put on there except the muffler, racing brake pads and kit, brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension, racing clutch flywheel, and the fully customizable racing transmission. And don't forget your racing medium tires for this weekend. You know what? I'm sorry. This was the first car, and I initially started with these brakes, and then we added the carbon ceramics. So that's the actual brakes you want, the carbon ceramic. And you won't need the intermediate or heavy wets for this particular race weekend. But you can certainly buy them so you have it for the future. And I've got the ultimate tab off in the room, so the carbon propeller shaft doesn't matter that I already have purchased it. It's not going to be allowed in the room. So that is your Crown KupKar. So let's switch cars. And I'm going to make sure these settings are correct on this one. I was running these at 2848, so I think we're gonna run this one and the Camaro at that weight, and we're gonna leave the ballast right smack dab in the middle. So again, all your sliders to the left. Except your anti-roll bar at 5 and 5, and your camber, negative camber at 0.5. Zero out your toe angles. That'll remove the amount of reduce or eliminate as much drag as possible. And then the initial torque can go 10, 20, 10, and that's going to be spec on all cars, not just these, but also the Trukz. So in this case, I've got 20 pounds of ballast that I've got in the middle. And I've got the speed set at 350. I think we said we were going to try like 360, 370. I'm going to leave it at 360 for now, and we'll do some testing tomorrow night. So I'll move this back over here so everybody can take notes, screenshot, whatever. And again, the transmission is the one thing we're still working on. So, there is the Crown Athlete, and I'm going to go make sure we've got this one matched up here. So, we're going to verify all those settings. Looks like I got the weight a little down on this one, so we're going to bump the weight up. Again, all the sliders to the left. 10, 20, 10, 50 and 100 on the, and then this one we're going to put the ballast in the middle, and again it's 20 pounds of ballast. A little farther. 2848 on that weight. This one's set at 400, we're going to set it at 380 on this car. Actually, you know what? Let's set them all at 360 just to see what happens. Alright, so now we are matching up with both of the Toyota Crowns. Why is this one more? 2840. Oh, this one, I didn't hit the power restrictor on this one, so that's why we're double checking. That's why I'm running two, so I can check and verify the setting. So the power restrictor on this is going to be 97. That'll put us right at 500 horse. So that'll put us right where we need to be on this car, and that should match up if we look up here. Whoop, went out. I wished it would go out without having to go all the way out. So now we're at 705.08. 704.29, so something else is still different here. I wonder if it's the wing. Let's go take a look at the We got to get, oh, we got to get in the black car though. And again, we're going to allow medium 22 wing on these cars. 705.48. That looks the same. Trying to see what maybe I missed that I left on here. Oh, I got the ballast. Instead of having it centered, I've got it. We want the ballast. We're going to put the ballast right at the center. And it's going to be 20. And it's centered 97%. So 705.08. I don't see anything else we missed. Oh, here we go. There we go. 704.29. The one had the carbon propeller shaft. Which again is not going to be allowed this weekend. So now those two are even. Now we got to make sure our Camaros are even. So this was actually the first Cup car I built as a prototype. This one here. So, Cup car Daytona racing mediums. We're going to take our body height adjustment to 0, our anti-roll bar to 5, all of these sliders down to the bare minimum, and then we're also now we're going to change the camber to 0.5, 10-20-10 on the LSD. All these sliders to the left. This one is going to take... We're going to make this one a little bit heavier too. 28.24. 28.48. So 55 kilograms of ballast. We're going to put it right in the middle. Just to make it even. And our top speed is going to go down to 360. Alright, that puts us at 7:10:03. So that one's set. So let's grab the other blue one and get it set. This one looks like it is about where it needs to be. Gotta make sure. We'll double check all of our settings. 55 ballast, 0 in the center. Take this down to 360. 70 and 140. Regular shaft. Alright, that one should be where it needs to be. We're right at 500 horse or 499 on this one. So let's just double check, because this one we did not restrict down enough, so we need to change that. And again, this is why you balance these cars out so you know you got it right. See, this one's getting a little bit more horsepower. This one must have less wear on the engine. Alright, so those two now are even. 707, you see there's a slight variation in here, and I think this one probably needs an oil change. So let's grab that one. And let's do that oil change and just see if that makes the difference. So right now we're at 707.37, so let's go to GT Auto, get our oil changed, and we'll also wash it. See if that makes any difference. Very interesting to watch what little things affect these cars. Still, this one's 707.37 and the other one's different. So let's just double check everything. That all looks good. 360, 55, 9. Oh, we went the wrong way. See, this is supposed to be at the power restrictor, so that's the difference, okay? So 707.76, now it matches. So see that just slightly little difference, that little mistake I made there. Now when we look at these in the screen, they should be even. 707.76, that's what we want. So now let's get our last Mustang and get it tweaked up to the proper. So what we're doing is we're giving the Mustang a horsepower advantage and a weight advantage. So we're going to take all of our sliders, which are already set. We're going to take our camber now and go from 1.0 to 0.5. 360 on the... Again, before you start setting your things, if you've adjusted, take it back to a normal trans and then change it back to a fully customizable trans. That'll reset everything. Then take it to 360 on these cars. And then we're gonna run this one with no ballast. That's gonna give us 2740. And that's getting us about as close as we've gotten so far to getting this thing equal to the other cars. So I think we found the magic number. And we're going to put the ballast positioning in the middle. That didn't change anything because we don't have any more ballast. So we've given it a 60 plus 50, so 110, because it's 108 pound advantage, and a I thought this was at 530 horse. I wonder if this let's check something on the other one. So we're going to jump in the other one just to double check. And I had ballast on this one. $530 horse. There was some... Oh, polish ports. That's what we didn't do. Okay, so the black one we need to get back in and go polish the ports. So, just to kind of pretty much show you everything we did on the KupKar. Again, starting off on... And if you're building these cars, you buy the 2015 Mustang GT. You go in here to GT Auto. You go to the wide body and add that. Then we go back over here to the cosmetics. And we're going to run the BBS racing wheels. And again, those are going to be 18-inch wide. One too many times. This controller, this is the one that rattles. So then you're going to go across the board from the left. Custom parts front. We want the front Type A on the Mustang. The side skirts Type A. And the rear bumper's already a diffuser, so the wing, we want the custom wing set medium. It should be 22. Yeah, we're gonna stick with the big wing on these cars. Unless we find something better in testing. Racing item, hood, pins, tow hooks, and roll cage. Make sure the roll cage is installed. Type C, tow hook, and your hood pins. I always tell people to get the best light bulbs. Type A rear only. Front grille, this one I switched just to make it different than the other one. And the caliper color stayed red. So now, once you've done that, you go over to the tuning shop. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Weight reduction stage 1. Bore up on this one. Weight reduction stage 2, power restrictor and ballast. Racing crankshaft, fully customizable computer. Fully customizable LSD. Weight reduction stage 3. Increase body rigidity. Ignore the height adjustable suspension. This was one of the first Mustangs I had that I used in the game. So I was trying to build performance on the cheap. And then we're going to polish ports, which we didn't do. That'll give us 530. That's a big difference. We're not going to go there. Alright, and then, so once we had the polished ports, which we didn't have on this one, racing air filter, muffler, and exhaust, brake pads, brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension, racing clutch and flywheel, fully customizable racing transmission. Make sure you have your medium tires and your ceramic brake kit. And there is your Mustang KupKar. Now we got to balance the two out, because this one is showing different numbers than the other one. So this one's at 688, so we're going to go fix that. Car settings. We pulled all the ballast out of it. We got it at 360. We got brake controller. Again, the only thing that's not going to be fully to the left is going to be your anti-roll bars and your negative camber angle. And then 10-20-10 on the differential for all of them. So we're going to go double check this wing on this one, because I think that might be the difference. We're going to double check it. Yep, type 22 is the only one allowed for the three cars, just so y'all know. We have been driving this car a lot, so I'm going to change the oil. Again, all of these cars, you start with the wide body, work your way across the cosmetics, and into the tuning shop. And again, let's just verify our wheels on this one, because I think this might have been the one I messed them up on. So we want 18-inch wide. I'm going to try something, because for some reason still a little perplexed why this one is showing a less power level. I must be missing something. Performance points, I mean. 530 horsepower, 2,740 pounds. So far, nothing's jumping out at me that I'm missing here. I don't see any difference. But that's a 13-point difference. That doesn't make any sense. Got to be somewhere else. That's something I'm missing. 5.1 liter. So, I don't see the difference. I'm looking over something obvious. Oh, I see it, I see it, I see it. Oh, nope, these need to stay left. We have downforce. Oh, this one was more because we had the downforce in there, so. Weird how that little bit changes. 70142, there we go. Alright, let's change car. We'll get this one, we'll set it, and see if that makes a difference. Maybe it will. I would think. No, that one's set. That one's 701. This one's 688.78. I am missing something. 10, 20, 10, 8.5.5, 0.5.5. Still don't know what I've got on this one that I am not. Let's double check the palette. Weight reduction stage 1, weight reduction stage 2, power restrictor and ballast, increased body rigidity, weight reduction stage 3, fully customizable LSD, computer, brake shaft, polish ports, filter, muffler, exhaust manifold, racing brake pads, brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension, fully customizable racing transmission, racing collision flywheel, carbon ceramic brakes. I'm missing something. It's not on the engine side, it's not on the weight. I am 3/10 off. I just don't see it. I'm missing something obvious, probably because it's so late. Anyway, we're almost 1 o'clock here. Let's jump into the KRaPsMoN trucks here. This is about as close as you can get these cars. They are within 14 hundredths of each other. Well, let's make sure we've got all the settings. We've decided on 230. Whoop. Settings. 230 on the gear, 117 on the Tundra for the ballast. That'll give us 4,142 pounds, the exact same as the Ford. And again, 10-20-10 on all the 10-20-10. It's really late. 10-20-10 on the LSD's front and rear, 595 on the front rear torque. And I want this ballast in the middle to balance the car out, so that should help. This one doesn't have increased body rigidity. I wonder what that'll do. Well, guess I should change the oil. Let's verify the wheels are the same size. These should be 20 wide. Whoops, they're actually in there. Hang on. "18-inch standard size, wide. And custom parts again. We're going to run the front bumper type A. No side, nothing on the side. The type B rear bumper on Tundra, A on the Raptor. Those are the only two differences. Again, license plate rear only. Light bulb, I always get the best. Again, this is just adding lights and your caliper color. So there is your Tundra. And then we'll verify the settings on the there we go. We'll verify the settings here on the Raptor, and then we are done. And then I'll go down the specifics of the races again. Again, if you do build one of these cars to race with us, make sure you grab the template I've shared. If you're friends with me, you'll get that windshield banner that I made up for the series. 180, 185, 5, 20, 20, 10, 110. 0.5, 10, 20, 10 on both, 595. No ballast on this car, and we're going to run this at 230. What do we say, 230? 230 on these. Yeah, 230. That's what it was. And that pretty much handles everything. We didn't do the increased body rigidity on this one. Let's do that. That is in the tuning shop. And now when we look and compare the two, it gives the Raptor a little bit of an advantage, but we know that the Tundra actually seems to go through the air a little better, so that should be pretty even. Same weight on the both of them. That's it. We are done. Everything matches up, except for some reason this one Mustang. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong here on this one. Let's try one more time looking through the specs, and we're just going to go through everything and make sure it wasn't the wing somehow slipped through. So, all of this zeroed. Everything maxed to the left, except our anti-roll bar and our negative camber angle at 0.5, 0.5, and then 5.5 on the anti-roll bar. Zero out your toe angle. Make sure all of your sliders are left. 10, 20, 10 on the fully customizable LSD. 0 and 70, which is again max left. 360 on the top speed for the Cup cars. $680, $870. Why are we 13 points difference? Weight reduction stage 1, weight reduction stage 2, power restrictor and ballast. Fully customizable computer, racing crankshaft, fully customizable LSD, weight reduction stage 3, increased body rigidity, polished ports, air filter muffler exhaust, racing brake pads, brake balance controller, customizable suspension, racing coach 5-wheel, fully customizable racing transmission, all 3 sets of tires, carbon ceramic brakes, one more check on the car customization. Again, it should be medium wing 22. Tires, wheels, I mean. 18-inch wide. Front. Type A. Side, type A. Wing. Custom wing set, medium, type 22. That is correct. Roll cage is in there. Tow hook is there. Hood pins are there. I just don't see what the difference is. I don't understand why this is 13. I'm missing something really obvious. I just can't figure it out. Well, I guess I'll do this off air. If I find it, I'll announce it in the race tomorrow, or the racing, or the coverage tomorrow. It's still really puzzling to me. These cars are set up exactly the same. Alright, let's switch one more time over to the other one and see if maybe I missed something again. Oh, this one's got, I added downforce. Aha, there's our difference. See, I thought I had gone into the other one, I was in the wrong one, so there we go. Now we've got everything matching up like it should be. Alright, so one more quick review of everything we're doing this weekend. So those of you wondering, you know what we're doing. We're less than 24 hours away now from the race tonight. It is, again, HECS Event 5, Season 2, Event 10, the Summer Series and Regular Season Championship Weekend of Speed at Daytona. This is the 3-day event, Labor Day weekend here in USA, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 10 times total event point, or 10 times event points for the scoring on the points. We're going to be at 2 times tires and fuel on all 3 divisions. There will be the spec ratings that I've just reviewed for you for all the cars. Medium tires, 5 times variable rate with custom weather. Races will end up into the night, starting with the KRaPsMoN truck race is going to be basically at twilight. And we'll run segment racing on Saturday and Sunday. 2 segments on Saturday, 3 segments on Sunday, so that will be a complete room reset. We'll score points, and I'll get in the points in just a second. We will have cautions, and then we will have dual start zones. Well, not only the Geico restart zone, but also the penalty zone on the backstretch will be the other start zone, so we can have half-lap cautions. I don't want to... I do not want to have, too many caution laps. We want to spend as little time as we can, and we'll do that by lining up everything double file. No choose rule like we had last time, but we'll set up double file for restarts. And points breaks down a little bit different than normal because of the special event. We have 10 times event points, as I mentioned before, which will lead us to our start bonus, which is always by the event multiplier. So 6 total races over the course of the 3 days. We will have a total of 60 start bonus points available. There will be a top 5 starting bonus of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the first top spots of starting, and that is going to depend on the race setup. So KRaPsMoN truck race is going to be set by qualifying, and that will be fastest first. The KupKar race is going to be set by qualifying. We may mix things up on that one and make it slowest first, just to make things interesting. There will be a victory bonus, as we always have. There will be an extra 10-point bonus for winning the KingPittdawg Racing 500K main event. And then when we run segments, the top 10 in the segments will receive bonus points from 10 all the way down to 1. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for 10th place. And then we will also be running 3 times qualifying heat race, the trial races. Those will be 3 times points. And our Friday and Saturday night races will be worth 5 times points and 10 times race points for the KingPittdawg Racing 500K. Again, we're running spec settings here. There's no individual tweaking, no individual tweaking on the gear ratio. This is about as spec as we can make something here. Here on in the lobby. So no individual gear ratio setups. We're going to use strictly the final gear automatic setup. So if you've set your gear ratios, I want you to go into and switch out to the normal transmission, then switch back to the racing transmission, and that'll clear it out. And then you'll be able to have. And we're going to again specs on the trans setting. So again, model specific specifications for the divisions. So the first time I've really made a big fuss out about this, but I will. Oh, I just like this screensaver on this one because I don't have any other way I can do this. So let me just touch on this. I want to touch on this because I think it's really important. I am going to be watching for anybody that might have an advantage because they've not set the proper specs, and I will be disqualifying you if I can determine that you have broken the rules per se, and that'll be 100% points from this event and possibly some further deductions. I'll leave that open to interpretation. But just remember, I can watch your telemetry on a replay, so you're not going to get away from me being able to know if you're cheating. I can tell. We're going to know exactly where the RPMs. Everything is spec, so everybody's RPM should be pretty much the same. As should your speed for car. Again, this series, these races are not about car setup. They are about how well you can manipulate the draft and work it for you. Again, there's going to be cautions, so, and then at the end of the races with the segments, you will have a chance to get caught up. There'll be a free pass, just like NASCAR. You can. If there's a caution during the race and some people qualify and you get a lap down, you can take a wave around, but then you cannot pit. So, pretty similar to NASCAR style rules, but we're going to tweak it up a little bit. So the races in summary here, again, tonight now, less than 24 hours away, 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time is roughly the time we're going to start the, set the room up. It's the KRaPsMoN Trukz, the KingPittdawg Racing Performance Specially Modified Naturally Aspirated Trukz. This is going to be called the FQ 200K, a 200K distance race with 5 times race points, and our specific settings we've all already set here in this video. It'll be 1 pace lap plus 44 racing laps to get our 200K, so the room will actually be set to 45 laps. And again, this one does not have a segment, but will have cautions with all the rules that apply. And again, we're looking at half lap cautions if we can do it. So Saturday night, pretty similar setup. This is the KupKar RacecaR. At 8, roughly open the room at roughly 8:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This will be the KupKar RacecaR, Camaro, Crown, and Mustang. And this is the Instagram at KevinP_KPD 250. 250K, 5 times race points. Again, spec settings as we've just determined. 1 pace lap. This one will be 65 total laps, because our race is 63 and then 2 segments with 1 pace lap. So that'll be the 65 total laps. And I'm probably going to set the room at 40 and 25. Okay, so it'll be, 39 laps of racing in the first one after the pace lap, and then 24 laps after the pace lap. So be prepared to fuel save there to make sure you make that 25 lap segment, because depending on the car you may have to pit in that one or do a considerable amount of fuel saving. And that'll be a 2 segment race. And again, just to review, when we change over segments, we're basically doing it like a separate race. But you're not going to get separate race points like I did at the KingPittdawg Racing 200. We're going to get the 10 bonus points. And you can watch this video to get the specs on these cars, because pretty much everything's the same. So on the 3rd of September, that's Sunday, at approximately 6:15 to 6:30, we're going to get the room opened up, and we're going to have our main event, the biggest event of the year, the KingPittdawg Racing 500K at Daytona. And this is going to be presented by KingPittdawg Promotions. This is a 500K distant race. We're going to set up basically 127 total laps, but it's 124 laps of racing with the 3 segment pace laps. This is a 10 times race points, and this will be in the Silvia Spec-R Aero Group 4 car, set to our FIC spec with the racing transmission, fully customizable LSD. And we're going to use the lip spoiler, and I can just touch that again real quick because I can jump in that car again. I want to jump in the other one anyway. And we'll switch, actually take this car and switch it. And you see that spoiler actually gives you a little bit more of an advantage. So this is my livery from earlier in the year. I was running the gold theme cars earlier in the year. We're going to go down there and swap that out. So all 3 cars, so that way I don't have to change my oil. Being the room host, I don't have to try to change oil. I can just switch cars. And I will switch liveries to where they're all the same. So custom parts, we're going to go wing. Custom wing set type, oh, it's just be type 22 anyway. Okay. So that's, we're going to leave that, make that correct. And then we're going to go wing, and we're going to go type B. Well, there you go. It is all set. And that should have balanced us out with the other cars. And we should have 3 matching Silvias with the same 647.37. $647.48. I wonder why this one is less. Maybe it needs an oil change. Let's try that. They should be equal, but this one does have a lot more use on it, so it could possibly be just a little worn out. Or I've got the wrong size tires on it, wheels. And again, these wheels for this race are going to be the only... you can run whatever wheels you want, but they do need to be 18-inch, and they only allow standard on these, so... And we'll switch styles on this livery here too. Alright, there we go. Now we got 2 cars set with the proper livery. Alright, well that is it for this video, folks. Thanks everybody. If you have any questions, you can contact me direct on the PlayStation app or on Instagram at KevinP_KPD. Again, less than 24 hours away. It's almost here. Time to start racing for the HECS regular season and Summer Series Championship weekend of speed at Daytona. So keep an eye out, folks. We'll be running KRaPsMoN trucks tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you around. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell, and share this if you can. We're looking for a full field here. It'd be great to have a full field of KRaPsMoN trucks, but they are a little tricky to build. Not too bad. But there's a whole video on there if you look back, if you need to figure that out. And I also showed you how to do that. So, just buy them out of Brand Central. It's the Raptor, the SVT Raptor, and the Toyota TRD Pro. That's it for tonight. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you around tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, hopefully. Until then, KingPittdawg.